Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you got to do is push the bad button. That's all you got to do is push the back signal.
Try not to think about the future too much so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody out there doing today? It's your boy, Coach Lee. Man, happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend. Welcome to the Playcall Sheet Offense off-season edition. And, man, we're doing the post-draft reviews today. But before we can get it started, I got to get the crew up in here, man. They doing their damn thing. That's been my man from the northeast of First. He's coming in here looking hard like he would have buzzed somebody across the head. Say, put me in, coach. My man, Metal Watt.
You know what it is, man. LA Wave. But I'm in Massachusetts. You know what it is, man. Don't care. The sun's coming out. But I hope everybody had a great weekend, as Coach uttered. Hope you're ready for the off-season edition. Once again, you know what I'm saying? The play call. Oh my eye. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, though. Shout out to my guy, Peyton Manning. You know, DC Defenders in the house, man. That playoff, the way the playoffs is built, and the XFL is terrible, but shout out to our home team, man. You know what I'm saying? For putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Renegades. It ain't about the Defenders. It's about the Renegades. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Renegades, Defenders. You know, that's going to be a hell of a game.
Absolutely.
What's going on, Chris? You know, we got the guy in here? I'm sorry. We're supposed to bring somebody in here, but, you know, we have to shout out my guy, Unk, in the building. You know what I'm saying? Putting in that work, as well as, you know, being here with us tonight. So salute to you, man. Hope all is well. Let's bring in this guy, man. Had a very good weekend draft-wise, you know, preparation, you know, being there. These are things that we want in people that rock with us, you know, commitment, dedication, consistency. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give a shout out to this guy, man. He was the MVP of the weekend by far, man. My guy, Chili Will. What's going on with you?
What's good, fellas? What up, Unc? What up, everybody? How we doing today?
Man, how you doing today?
I'm good. I slept since the draft. I just woke up. I just woke up since I went to sleep after the draft. That's how crazy that was. Yeah, man. It was
Cowboys.
Yeah, for real. We had a great draft. Everybody went crazy. Everybody involved did a great job. I can't wait to do that again. We crushed it. Shout out to the Renegades. Yeah, I mean, also Bruins, you're a disgrace, and let's go Celtics.
Celtics tonight, game 1. You know,
Man, yeah, I would easily say that you was the MVP of the weekend, man. You hung in there. You even talked me into doing a unforeseen day 3. But
Yeah, it
man, we
went
had a
crazy.
blast, man. I
Yeah,
had a
we did. We
blast.
did.
James came through, did his thing, and man, shout out again to Kawan. He came out, especially the first night. He hung out with us almost the entire show. We
Yeah,
sure
he was
appreciate that.
honorary fifth member. You just couldn't see him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we rocking with them Renegades. I think the championship game is in San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, man. We here Renegade out. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to your bottom line sports. Go Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. We gonna put it up again. We gonna put it up again. Cowboys Nation, baby. We out here screaming it out, man.
Absolutely.
Who won the draft, Chris? Man, it's not a winner yet, but there's some potential, gems, potential A pluses, if you want to call them that. We'll get into that tonight.
Damn sure will. But real quick, we got a couple of items today. You know what I'm saying? Right off the bat, we got a little bit of news coming out of the frozen tundra. So we had talked about this a couple of weeks ago when all the rumors and Will was rolling his eyes about the Aaron Rod talk. Well, it finally happened. He got shipped off to New York to the Jets. And we immediately pivoted and we were like, what are they going to do with Love in this 5th-year option? He hadn't played. Well, as of right now, the Packers have yet to pick up that 5th-year option, which is $20.3 million. It's a lot of money for a guy that you're not too sure of. So do y'all think he's going to get his money?
What else? What other options do they have? Let's be honest here, folks. So first of all, so that we're clear for everybody who's not really 100%. That's not including the year coming up. That's the following, correct?
Correct.
So they're gonna be able to see. They don't have to make a decision now. So they're gonna get to watch this 1 year. What it does do is it adds pressure on the young man. So not only is he filling the pair of cleats that was Aaron Rodgers,
right,
who filled the previous pair of cleats that was Brett Favre, but he's got to do all that and show he's worth it in a single season with a team that's rebuilding. Good luck, Love.
Good luck, Love. I think he's going to be in the same position as Daniel Jones was in. The Giants didn't pick his up, let him play it out.
Yeah.
And then kind of either we're going to franchise you or we're going to go ahead and give you, the deal at that point in time.
Definitely did. And shout out to Ed, man. He says the Packers next year going to go after Khalil Williams, which would be smart in the situation. For real. Like you said, Will, you can exit out. You can this year, you can max it out to see his potential and then, do what you do with it. But, definitely puts pressure on it. You're in Green Bay, though. Like you said, you fill shoes. But this is what the history's been, to fill shoes.
Right. And
how can you fill those shoes? And the guy before was under pressure. Kind of the same pressure this man loves going into now. So, you got your, maybe not. You got your, maybe he'll do it.
Yeah.
It's all going to be a mystery here. And one of the biggest franchises in the NFL, like you said, they're rebuilding. It's going to be very difficult for him to get through this season without the others, definitely supporting him A1.
Right.
In his advantage, one advantage he'll have is with a few tweaks, their defense should be back in shape, barring that it just never gets back. They underachieved last year. They were expected to be a top 10 defense going into last year. It did not play out. A lot of people wanted to just say that was the whole team's problem. No, their offense was still very much the problem, but defensively that they weren't what we thought they were going to be. So a few tweaks to get them back to where they're supposed to be. If he has a good defense, and then a year under Watson's belt, a year under Dobbs' belt, they got a new tight end, same backs, show up that line, he should be in line to at least show them I'm worth picking up the option. He doesn't got to sell them. That's the one thing. It is a lot of pressure and a lot to follow up on, but he doesn't have to sell them on a franchise like a whole future. Nah, you got to sell them on I'm worth $23 million for a single more season. I think he should be able to do that. And if he can't sell them on a $23 million single season, then they're better off moving on anyway.
Right.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that, man. The Packers going into a division though that we'll say besides the Vikings are kind of in a rebuild themselves. So in terms of
Go
that,
Lions.
Mhm.
in terms of that, there's soft pressure there. But in-house,
Yeah.
all that is going to build
Yeah,
him up.
that's true.
You know, and like I said, the Packers go out there and those receivers ball out this year. The running backs, do their thing. The defense is what they're projected to be yearly.
Yeah.
Then they
Actually,
should.
I want to ask: does the fact that division is somewhat up for grabs, does that make it more pressure or less pressure? Because it's winnable.
It's winnable. Yes, it's winnable, and I like I said, there's no pressure. I feel like there's no pressure in this right now. Now,
I was just asking.
Losses, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I'm middle ground with it because if the losses pile up, then it's pressure. Damn, you're the worst in the North now, and for the second year you're struggling. But if you're up, then it's that. Oh well, Aaron last year, and Aaron's 30 plus years old. That type of argument will come out, and it's like, damn, Love's out there doing his thing. So, how many games will the Packers win this year? Projected, I'll say 6.5. 6.5. You go over that. I mean, we'll say 7 flat.
Let's go bottom line. He gets it.
Jets winning the division this year. I'm gonna hold off on that. I want to see them gel in. I want to see them play. Detroit could win that division. Absolutely, everybody's screaming it out. But they have to win that division. At the end of the day, they balled last year.
Mm-hmm.
They make the playoffs. So this year,
you got to build on top of that. You can't just stay where you were and have us all still on that gravy train. Now you got to build on top of that. You got to do more. I agree.
You say 7 games too?
7 games for the Packers?
Packers? Yeah.
So real quick.
Let's go through the schedule. We can do these. I love these.
They got the Falcons. Dub or L?
Win.
Dub.
Should be. Not a guarantee, but it should be.
Panthers.
Win.
Bears. At Bears.
Those are toss-ups. We'll say.
At the Bears?
We're not going to play them twice. We'll say they split one. They split it.
Okay.
They get one and lose one.
So we give them the second. Okay, so we got them right now at
3-1.
2-1. Oh, we're 3-1. Yeah. Broncos. At Broncos.
I'm going to give the Broncos this one. Yeah, I'm going to give Broncos that one.
Okay, 3-2. At the Lions. 3-3.
But we'll go for the Lions for this one right here. The Georgia will be.
And then the Lions at home.
They got a back-to-back against them?
No, they actually have Detroit, the Bears, then the Lions.
So I say they split with the Bears. They split with the Bears.
So they're 4-4, right?
Yep, they split the Bears and split with the Lions.
At home against Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Depending on what time it is.
Yeah, I know, right?
1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game.
So we say 4-5 right now. Home against the Saints.
Win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 5-5. Tampa Bay at home.
Win.
6-5. Kansas City at home.
Double L Cool J.
Yeah. Lost by 40.
What's that? 6-6. Chargers at home.
Who at the crib?
Chargers
gonna get that.
Yeah, Chargers should win that.
Okay, 6-7 at the Raiders.
They can win that game.
7-7.
It's a whole 500 team right here.
At the we said they split with Minnesota too, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
At best.
So that's 7-7. And then the last 3 games, we got the Rams at home.
Rams are a shambles right now.
So 8-7.
Yeah.
At the Giants.
Giants win.
I think the Giants take that one.
Yeah.
You go Giants.
8-8 and at Pittsburgh.
That's a winnable game.
It's a winnable game. I'm going to give them to them.
So they're a toss-up.
I feel like they can, in the division they can win some games. We're gonna know what they are around October-ish, and
Thanksgiving will understand.
He's not giving a bad play. At the end of the day, Jordan Love's not giving a bad play. Nah. You look at the roster; he's not giving a bad play. You got some guys.
You got a good running game.
Yeah.
Got some serviceable receivers.
Receivers who will work and grow with him, which is important.
Grow with him, yeah. Versus being expected to hit the ground running.
Instead of being yelled at constantly by Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure they'll be a lot more comfortable this year.
Lions sweeping the pack, according to P. Diddy.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. We picked the Lions. We are.
All I know is
honorary surrogate Lions fans for a little bit.
I'm wishing Love all the success. I want to see all young players ball out. But just in case they don't, because Packers fans have been so obnoxious for the last 30 years, kind of want to see them fall on their face back to the Magic Man days.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them having a few bumpy roads.
Absolutely. Straighten them out a little bit. Same time for them, same thing for them Saints fans, too. I ain't letting y'all off the hook
either. Packers definitely need a bumpy road, for sure.
All right. Next thing we got real quick before we get into the 5 best free agents. Got a little bit of a snippet here. Share screen. Where we at with it?
Keep on hoping, Chris. Keep on hoping.
Look, you got one, and that's about what you get.
I see everybody tell me to stay. Who said I want to go? Who said I want? I'm out here working, baby. What's up?
So, that's your man, Nuke. There was a lot of rumors pre-draft about he was available. Even on draft now, I think they even showed some reports that they getting permission to go out and seek a trade. Do you think this is them trying to save face, or do you think them trying to show some value, like they actually want them, so other teams can kind of give up a little bit more to them? Because the draft's over now, so they're not gonna get much for him.
That sounds like a man who tested the waters and nothing bit. That's what it sounds like. But maybe they could be trying to run it up. I don't know, but it ain't looking good. I think the price tag was too high, man.
Yeah, because I think when we talked about when it first came out, they wanted a second for him or a second and a third or something crazy like that, plus take on the contract.
Like maybe a single year out of his prime, Randy Moss went for a fourth.
Yeah.
You're not getting a second after coming off PEDs and a $19 million contract. It's not happening. It's not happening.
They said they was going to cut him.
That's what
that story came out.
The other thing.
Crazy. So you had to kind of stay face and bring him back in, and I feel like it's both because as the season goes on and his value somewhat goes up or goes down, you're gonna probably trade him anyway. But you can't trade him right now. All the heat that's going on in the league right now, there's no value for him. And shout out to the Arizona Cardinals for giving him the opportunity to go fish. Hey, go fish the trade suitor. More than likely, we're not going to accept it, but you know what it is. And people ain't going to accept our trade because you're DeAndre Hopkins at the end of the day. To us, you hold value. But the way we got to do you, sorry, man. You got to come back with us. So.
Exactly. Oh, my mouse
Absolutely.
Died. It's a bad time to have your mouse die.
Now to the bottom line. Remember Aaron Rodgers was 6-10 in his first year? You think Jordan Love is going to outdo him?
No, especially because Aaron Rodgers had a better team to do it with.
It's a different, but I say this on the upturn and why I say 7, because it's a different league nowadays. The way the game.
That's true. Yeah,
it's a different league. You know what I'm saying? All these sports nowadays, you know, you got teams that can go win one day and win not. The consistency level of winning is not in the DNA of a lot of these football teams. There's probably about 2 or 3 football teams tops that can do that for you.
Also, we're going to bring in the villain himself. He decided to show. Better late than never. Looking a little tired, but he's ready to go. Jiggity, jiggity, jig.
Good morning, good night, good evening, or
All the
whatever
above.
side of the planet you're on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
sleepyhead's been awoken.
We did get banned in Russia. Who knows?
That's what we do.
Hey, we like pissing people off.
I wear that as a badge of honor, even though I know it has nothing to do with Russia at all. It's hilarious. Wait, what? I'm on a podcast. We got banned in Russia. Should have got nothing to do with nothing, but it's just funny.
So we're going to take a look at. So the draft is over. We got some free agents who are still out there who can actually be key in filling in some holes for some existing teams. We're going to look at the top 5 of available free agents. The first one is Yannick Ngakoue, edge rusher, the former Jag and Colts star.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to end up at?
Oh, where does he end up?
Because he started with the Jags, went to the Colts, but they're saying he may end up back in Jacksonville again.
That'd be a good fit for him. Clearly, some of those guys, they just like to go and stay where they know the system works. And some of them test the water. They don't get the likes or the looks that they want. And why not stick where you played your best ball at? And we're all your homies and stuff. Like, I know we always talk about it's a business, but there's a human side to it. So go play with your peoples, live where your family's living already.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to Baltimore. Go to
Say
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Go to
I was just about to say that. Didn't Calais Campbell retire?
No. Did he
No.
retire? No, he's a
thought-
free agent, I think.
All right, I thought he had, but I was about to say what Tu said. I think a really good fit for him would be Baltimore.
Actually, where's he? Who's he with now? He's with the Falcons now.
Ooh, interesting. Where careers go to die.
So the number 2 free agent, I think Tu's gonna get excited for this one. None other than Feed Me is still out there. And this weekend, after the draft, Mr. Burns said that the ship has not sailed on him making a return back to Dallas.
Man.
As much as I want to say, he to the Dallas scheme, Jerry's just trying to keep him in grace, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to hope that he does sign with a team and his career is not completely over yet. This is the thing about Zeke. He can still help a team out. May not be the same guy that he was, but still can contribute. It's surprising to me that he is, but I can understand with the way the running backs are coming in and out today. We just had an awesome draft and a lot of awesome running backs, especially towards the end of the draft, be drafted. So, Zeke's going to have to, patiently wait his turn. I mean, the Dallas thing could happen. He could be a guy that's off in the sunset, saying before the season starts.
Right.
Teams like, give it to me. We thought a team like the Bengals would go get him. They haven't shot yet, so, I mean, Zeke's beginning to live as a guy that's just going to be serviceable when they need you to be serviceable. He has to be ready for it and stay in shape. Because one thing about Zeke early in his career, the offseason issues, things like that, people would say to him, is he keeping up, training and being in shape? And he's being able to prove the doubters wrong. Now, on an extra layoff, can you be the same? Zeke should go to the Lions. The Lions are stacked. Lions?
They could use a bruiser. They could use a bruiser, but I think he likes nice weather.
Yeah.
He wears crop tops.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the Bengals went out and drafted him a running back, so that room's officially bolstered again with Samaje Perine heading out. We said it during the draft show. I think Coach is on to something. I think he's going to have a return to Dallas. Might not be right away, but it might be mid-season.
That's what I'm saying. It can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, running backs, go down or not healthy enough or whatever. He knows the system. Things of that. If he's lingering around for that long, then I wouldn't be mad if Dallas did it. But I'm not going to jump and say, oh, snap, Dallas, go get him. right now. I know Jerry talking it up.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the only home might be Dallas. I think Dallas doesn't want to admit it, but I think they kind of need him. They went out and drafted another scat man.
I feel you, man. Bottom line, I feel you, dog. We riding out, boys, fan. We want the same thing, you know. Kind of at the end, you know. Zeke comes in, we gonna have a party for him. We already know that, you know. But sucks that he's in a situation right now.
Absolutely. Number 3. This guy just got released by the Chiefs during the offseason. Frank Clark. He actually had 2.5 sacks, I believe, during the playoffs. We had 5 for the season, so his production is down. Do you see him possibly ending back up in Seattle?
I said that a couple weeks ago. I would like I would like that, you know, to go back
the reunion tour, yeah.
You know, where you can tutor and actually play as well, you know, with the team that you know you blossom with. So I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Okay.
And he's not necessarily old either. He's only 29 years old, so he still has plenty to give on the football field for at least 3 more years. Definitely more.
True.
Another team too, interested. And Jake, you may like. Oh, Jamie, tell Jamie she might like this. The kind of the way that AFC's been going in the win between 2 teams. If he went to Cincinnati, and the type of game when you're playing KC, and now you got a guy that's been in practice with Mahomes and Kelsey and stuff like that, you can go numb it up and go get him.
Yeah, I was saying it all weekend that you can never have too many defensive linemen, and that was one of the big things that Cincinnati needed help with last year. Is that once their defensive linemen started going down, they didn't really have anyone else that could, you know, come up in the trenches with them, which is why I thought they drafted so heavy on the defensive line. So it would work pretty well. Definitely when you do the plug and plays, move around people, it wouldn't be a bad move at all.
Fair enough. You got to talk about the big uglies out there. You got Donovan Smith. He's still available, the former Buccaneer.
Another 29-year-old.
Yeah. So what do you see him possibly ending up at?
Donovan Smith. Who needs some true defensive line help right now? Because I don't think he's in a point of his career where he's a big difference maker anymore, but he could be definitely like bolstering a line the same way we're talking about Frank, maybe going to Cincy, a place like that.
He's a former 2nd round pick, 34 overall out of Penn State. He's got some pedigree. 6'6", 338.
Sounds like a move Philly would make, despite their
right. I was about to say, really, anyone except the Steelers and the AFC North, because they're always getting these defensive linemen that resurge themselves and have a second win in their career. Some that don't need second wins. Some of that, like Trey Hendrickson, that was coming off really good years and then signed a big contract elsewhere. But yeah, the Browns could use them. Bengals always looking to build that line up. Ravens are always known for having really good defensive lines and linebackers. I mean, yeah.
As much as y'all saying it, man, keep it real. Still as a coach, I feel like those are good spots for him.
I can see him in a coach, got a rookie quarterback with high expectations. Is he gonna see some time? Because Minshew's only there for a year.
Well, I mean, or the Buccaneers can go get him back for a piece of the pie. I don't know.
Buccaneers don't have any type. They just don't seem like they have any type of identity. I think Bo's gonna be fired after this year.
Yeah, definitely. Still,
they already did my boy wrong. He was a scapegoat. All right, and the last one of the top 5, we got Leonard Floyd, former Super Bowl champion, played with the Rams in 2021. He's 30, but obviously LA sold their soul for the ring. So here we are. So they're having to cut people who, because they're going to be rebuilding for like the next 3, 4, 5 years.
For sure. I mean, this is another guy in that same age range that are coming off their second-year deals. I mean, this guy was a first-round pick, top 10. So he could, even at 30, like I said, if you get to 30, continuing on with your career, depending on how you take care of yourself, you can play up to your 35 on the defensive line. We've seen many guys do it. How productive they are, that's the change. But Leonard Floyd, on the other hand, he might be a different case because he's a hybrid. He's one of the taller, skinnier defensive linemen that can get around quick. So he could still help out a lot of teams for sure.
Okay. I hate to say this, but I can see him coming in on a cheap contract and he end up in Philly. Since they signing everybody.
Bunch of veterans all day.
Me? I'm going to say you on a limb. Panthers?
I can see that.
Definitely need D help.
Even though I saw a report today that says Sam Darnold may be the week 1 starter.
Dang.
You
guys still being paid.
So before we take our first break for the night, we're going to actually come back and look at the draft grades. I think somebody asked about that earlier in the chat. We're going to hit that after the first break. But before we do that, I'm going to throw a nugget out there to y'all real fast. Who played in the college football championship game this past year? What teams?
TCU and Georgia.
Who were their quarterbacks?
Stetson Bennett and Mez Dugan.
What was the game played at?
I forgot that part.
Dallas,
SoFi.
right?
SoFi.
Oh.
What NFL team do they both play for now?
LA teams, Chargers and Rams.
The irony of that. I thought that was pretty cool.
It is. You basically went to that stadium with the Rams scouts and the Charger scouts loving you the most.
I almost answered every question. Price is Right would have loved me.
You nailed it. We're going to take our first break for the night. The guys are hanging out with y'all tonight, man. We're going to come back and do the draft grades. So hold on to your bus. Be back by 15:20.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's cornerback Delvin Brew here from your favorite team, New Orleans Saints. I just want to go ahead on and give a shout out to STWF Media for allowing me to come on and talk about my testimony, my story, and also talk fantasy football. I just want to say thank you, man, for the honor. I appreciate you, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in tonight at 7:30 Central Time. Bro Show out.
Yes, sir. That's going to do a damn thing. This is the part I was really, really excited to cover with my brothers tonight, man. So we hung out here Thursday night, all night Thursday night, all night Friday night, and part of the day Saturday. So we had a chance to look at most of the selections being made. So according to Pete Prisco, who covers for CBS, he came out with his 2023 NFL draft grades. We're going to look at the top 4 who got A's and the 4 who tied for the worst mark. So of the top 4 who got A's, he's got the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Lions, and the Eagles. How y'all feeling about that initially while I'm pulling up this information here?
I hate to admit it, but the Cowboys had a sneaky good draft.
Fair enough.
Wasn't worried about that in that aspect. I told we've been drafting good for years. It's just Browns are just winning, I guess.
That's the thing.
That's why I'm a guy that's like at the end of the day, yeah, we can do that, but see it up.
I mean, since mid last year, I've been with Coach saying Dan Quinn needs to take over being head coach. When they're going to pull the plug on that, I don't know, but they need to.
Yeah.
Because he was able to get, even though they didn't win it, they lost to the Patriots. They still was able to get a team to the promised land at some point. So he's got the intangibles to get it there.
That's so true. Who were the top 4 again? I heard Dallas. My brain was
Cincinnati, Dallas, Detroit, and Philly.
interesting because I've seen people hate on the Detroit draft, but I thought it was a good draft.
Right. Especially
I thought it was too.
The 12 pick was kind of like spook but at the end of the day, it kind of relaxed itself. It's the way the draft is. Somebody's going to be at a spot where you're like, and you just have to accept that.
I think people just worry about the value, how high you picking a running back who isn't an every down back, but he is a weapon. And I think we've learned in this league that sometimes just a weapon, there isn't really a value you can place on him in the draft because you don't know how it's going to work with them guys. Like Tyreek Hill type of guy, like by all accounts, he's Tyreek Hill in the backfield. He can score from anywhere on the field. He's that type of speed. So,
And we were all really befuzzled about the Jahmyr Gibbs pickup at 12, but we eventually, day 2, figured out why it happened. I believe it was day 2 when they got rid of Swift and sent him off to Philly.
Remember, day 1, I was on board with it because I love the kid Gibbs, and I think their team is just filled with playmakers. So it made sense. But
it seemed like a head scratcher at the time because they already had 2 backs that could definitely run the ball between Montgomery and Swift.
And then they made the trade, and it made it even more sense. Yeah.
Yes.
For the Bengals, they're one of the ones that got an A. The best pick they're saying was the second round corner DJ Turner from Michigan.
I don't like saying nothing good about Michigan, but the kid's a ball hawk, and it was absolutely smart for everybody. Their main draft goal was to try to do something for their defense so that Joe didn't have to stay on the field that much. They went out and got a good D-line that could do the plug-and-play thing that I was talking about earlier, and then they literally drafted secondary. And I think they did outstanding. I'm not playing favorites here, but they did everything that they needed to draft for without having to paying the minimum amount of money with free agent pickups.
Right. And more money in the pocket for when Joe Burrow does get paid. You get young guys, a young secondary that's gonna, be cheap. So
yeah,
that's
I was talking to Will about that earlier when I made the too early after draft selection things. I said that they're going to be getting Cheeto back. They got Mike Hilton coming back. I think I said Milton. My bad. Well, I'm bad at spelling. And then they picked up the safety from the Rams, and now they got 2 or 3 young guys coming in off the secondary. They picked up another linebacker to help Pratt and Logan Wilson, and then they helped out their defensive line. If you really look at it, they picked up special teams, which is help they needed because they couldn't return a punt to save their life, and then they went out and drafted defense, which is what was making it difficult. And like Tu said, you're saving a lot of money by getting a young secondary, and they have to pay Joe, and they have to pay T, and within another year or two, they're going to have to pay Chase to keep that core together. So what you're going to have to do is win the draft by defensive picks if you want to keep the band together.
Now they said that as far as the skinny of it, that the GM Duke Tobin, he knew that the defense had to be replenished. So in order for them to have a chance, to get back to the Super Bowl. So that's why they did a great job of adding the pass rusher and Miles Murphy, the fast corner and Turner, and the smart safety and Jordan Battle. So definitely,
I really like the Jordan Battle pick.
Yeah, that's the kid from Alabama, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's got a brother coming up playing too. I don't know what college he goes to. I don't think he goes to Bama, but he's got another brother coming up with him.
Gotcha. The second team with the A rating was the Dallas got the A. Their best pick, they're saying, was 4th round edge rusher Viliami Fioco.
Yeah. Not everybody was exactly happy about that pick when it happened, but I think cooler heads have prevailed, and he looks like he's going to be a good addition to your team. He just brings up, he takes some attention, and he's going to take some attention. Look, every piece that they got seems like the guys that they drafted on defense were all to take attention off of Micah, and I like that.
Well, playing with violence and doing all that doesn't sound that sounds good to the actual football guys like us, because we grew up in that. But how would it turn into the NFL product? These words are coming into my mind fast enough. That doesn't smell good. But, hey, get him to be polished, and he could be a monster. Hopefully he is. Playing the right way as well.
He's, if I'm not mistaken, he's the second cousin. What's the big defensive tackle from The Buccaneers.
Vita Vey.
Yeah, they're second cousins.
I mean, if you're watching WWE and watching the
pedigree.
bloodline, if you're watching the bloodline, man, that's a good thing to have. You know what I'm saying? A second cousin like that, man. You know, that blood running fluently.
Aren't they related to Roman Reigns and him?
Yo, Roman Reigns. yo, Roman Reigns, the bloodline. We the ones.
Now,
Uso.
Now they did say, because at first, when we were looking at it, I was like, why are they taking another defensive end? He's actually going to be sliding inside at the 3 technique. So I like that.
Y'all just got some good depth on that line. That's I think you realize playing against Philly twice a year,
getting beat up.
Maybe we should do that. What they doing?
The worst pick, Overshawn was his worst pick. He says.
Oh, weird.
He can run, but he's just too inconsistent. They have to love his speed as a converted safety, but the tape was inconsistent. He does gamble a lot.
So what? I like it. I like somebody who gambles on the field.
Makes plays, as far as I know of.
Yeah.
And so the skinny on them is they like the first round defensive tackle in Mozzie Smith, who they're saying got Larry Allen type strength.
That's strength. That's strength.
Strength. Fioco, as we mentioned, they got Schoonmaker, the tight end. This one kind of puzzled me, but then when I went back and I looked at it, it kind of made sense because they wanted a tight end for sure, but they had him as a 4th rated tight end and the best blocking tight end. Second pick is kind of high, but I get it. After that, it's a big drop off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because especially after
plus
the Porter went 3rd, right?
Right. And you weren't, like you said, you weren't looking for a pass catching tight end. You have a guy like that on your roster already. So you just wanted to add depth and a blocker. It's a good pickup.
And the big heartfelt pick they got, they picked up Deuce Vaughn in the 6th round.
And his father
I thought you said something about them picking him up too during the draft party, Coach.
No, that was I think that was I think
you said that about Max Duggan.
James.
I think it was James that mentioned that. He was on point.
But
yeah, his father's in the draft room. So
yeah, I went back and looked at the film on Mozzie Smith. By the way, I forgot how much he destroyed Ohio State. So that was a little depressing.
We'll take it.
He's definitely a monster. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
For the 3rd team that got an A was the Detroit Lions we kind of mentioned earlier. He loved the pick of Sam Laporta at tight end in the 2nd round.
It's a great pick.
To give Goff a weapon in the middle of the field.
Kittle like skills.
The worst pick was Jahmyr Gibbs at number 12 overall.
Just because of where they got him.
I think that's it. And now the most puzzling, it's a skinny, but the puzzling one for me is I kind of get it. I think Goff is 28, 29? Just came out of probably his most productive season as a pro that he's had.
Mm-hmm.
And they're bringing in Hendon Hooker.
I think that's a situation where, like, look, Goff, in a couple of years, Goff's going to be up another contract. If he keeps exceeding what he did for us last year, this won't even be a problem. We just drafted a pretty good backup. That's it. Because we'll sign Goff. Well, yeah, we'll re-sign Goff and we'll continue that way. But if Goff doesn't continue that rise, well, then we got a young guy.
Yeah,
take a chance with a young guy with some talent. Well, he's not as young as you would think, though. He is 25 already.
What was the former Lion, former African American Lion? What's his name?
Rodney Peete?
No, not Rodney Peete.
Charlie Batch?
Not Charlie Batch. It was not Charlie Batch. It was another one. There was another one. Dosking. Now, was it not King? Not the dude that played for that Tampa Bay. The dude that the quarterback that played for Tampa Bay as well. I think he played for the Lions. I'm not too sure.
Sean King.
Sean King?
Yeah. Did he play for the Lions?
I don't know if he played for the Lions, but I know he definitely played for. Sean King was nice. I like Sean King.
That's what Hooker gonna be.
All right.
See, I was. I was. Oh, sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
They had. Are you talking about Andre Ware or Culpepper?
Oh yeah, I remember Culpepper.
I just think wrong team. I'm thinking the player, but I thought it was a line at some point.
Yeah, Sean King. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Sorry about
Sean
that,
King,
Jake.
man, I think he got that. I think Hooker got those type of vibes. I don't know why. But the Wizards on the field, man. But the Lions, they go get someone that in people's minds was worthy of being drafted, and for the way you got him at, it's a steal.
What are you about to say, Mr. Drake?
I forgot. Sorry, Harper came up the stairs and I forgot what I was saying.
And one last thing on the skinny for the Lions, they also like the third round DT they took, Broderick Martin. They say he's a power player inside, and they definitely value that pick.
Yeah, they again, just building through the line is the way to go in this league. Quarterback and both sides of the line.
Oh, I kind of remember now, but it's kind of pointless because everything Will said is kind of what I was going to say. It's kind of just an insurance policy because if Jared Goff starts to regress, you can plug him in. And if Jared Goff starts to do good and he wants a lot of money and you don't got it, you got a guy that's sat behind him and seen how to play the game, and he can get plugged right in.
So the last team they got a draft grade is the probably the team that won the draft. The Eagles. They got Jalen Carter. Yes. He had some off the field issues, but no, I think he'll be all right. Just keep him out behind the drag racing and stuff. That was their best pick, they say. The worst pick was they took safety Sidney Brown.
That's a bad. They're wrong about that.
You say again?
I think they're wrong about that. Not only did I like him, James thought that he was the better safety on that team. Another safety got picked ahead of him from that same team, Martin, I believe.
Okay.
So, but Sidney Brown is really good.
Now, the skinny on them is as always, Howard Roseman did his damn thing. Again, they got Carter. They got Nolan Smith in the first round. They got Tyler Steen in the third round guard, and they traded for DeAndre Swift. So they put it all in a nice package.
Put it all together. Crazy thing is Swift is from Philadelphia, so it's gonna be interesting to see him around there.
Yeah, Philly kid.
I didn't know that.
Interesting. It's so that they did that. I mean, as soon as you seen the vibes and the way it was last year, and then you had Jamal Williams who was over them, and Rayleigh was hurt, and it looked like they was looking to trade him anyway. Then you go get the guy Gibbs in the first round. It's kind of like, damn, they doing you dirty. So he probably was like, man, find me somewhere to go, man. Like, real talk.
Get me up out of here. They said he did ask for the trade.
Definitely, I agree. I would ask for a trade too. No disrespect to the Lions or anything. Y'all can be good without me, I guess. I'm going to the Super Bowl runner-ups, and they're loading their roster.
See, the thing is, I think the Eagles did well with that trade too because they got a back that can go plug in and be their featured back because they've had running back by committee for the last 2 years. And I say that about Miles Sanders because Miles Sanders was supposed to be their featured back, but they didn't use him literally at all in the Super Bowl, like at all. He disappeared after the first quarter. They did not use him, and I did not hear anything about an injury. They got, I don't know if they still have Boston Scott, but I know they still have Kenneth Gainwell back there, and they picked somebody up. Who was it? It was a person from Miami. They picked someone up, though. I thought it was from Miami. But they have good backs behind them that can play because DeAndre Swift isn't sometimes the most productive running back, but he knows how to get the yards. It's just they always had Williams scoring for him when they got down to the red zone. So, but they got a really good feature back that they can run the entire time now and not have to worry about production because Miles Sanders sometimes fell off. So the Eagles got a player that they haven't had in a while, a featured running back. So it was a good trade for them, and they didn't really give up much from what I remember. Was it like a third-round pick, right?
The real bottom line about this is that year-to-year reoccurring trend is that the loser in a Super Bowl typically
has a hangover.
And has some issues, and you usually have some issues and a hangover. This team will not. I don't
Not at
think.
all.
So they not only filled all the gaps that they lost in free agency, they then went on to better their team, which
Stock for the future.
you normally cannot do that in a single draft. To do both,
Yeah,
impressive.
I'm shooting down, man. They about to be drunk. Now it might be a good drunk. They might get drunk. They might be drunk and still be able to, focus and be able to do things. But not no Super Bowl.
With the way the NFC's looking, they could go 14-3 again, if not better.
Go 14-3, yeah.
NFC
Couple losses to the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Prove that you ain't the best team. You know what I'm saying? And go win it.
Couple off to the Cowboys, yet still win the division.
I mean, you know why they won the division. you know why. But in all, man, I can't wait to see what they put on the field. Like you said, people get drunk. They get Tom Brady. And we want to see this team. Out of all the teams that did get Tom Brady, they didn't get Tom Brady, but, the world's Tom Brady. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the same. This team right here, with what they've done, and we're like, wow, they can do that. We want to succeed. Somewhat. For me, as a Cowboys fan, they can succeed to the playoffs. Other than that, I don't care what you do.
True. Now, the 4 teams that he graded, they all tie with a C- grade. The first one is the Falcons. The best pick is they like the 4th round corner, Clark Phillips. Say he's small, but he'll cover and hit you. And then the worst pick, they say Bijan.
That's so weird. It's because, again, it's the spot. It's a running back. It's the first round. It's the top 10. I don't think it's a bad pick. I think they got a stud.
I disagree with that assessment. I'm with Will on that one. It makes total sense.
It makes kind of sense to me because what the Falcons, okay, your man Kyle Pitts, like, what's the number one thing you like for the Falcons to do is to, make him more of a seeable person on the field.
They got to get somebody. They got to get more people up in the box to open up the middle of the field for him.
So I can get that, Pat. But then you're like, the running backs you had last year, it was by committee, but those guys wasn't very bad. So I guess the people in the NFL markets didn't think those running backs were bad for you to go draft somebody like that at that point of the draft where people feel like you had other needs to go after. So I get it. But this guy overall, his talent, what he's shown us, is like, he can possibly do that in the NFL. So that's going to be the itchy-achi. That's why this seems like, this is why we play his seeds. This is why I do this.
His closest comparison that I've heard a bunch is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
If you just put Saquon Barkley on that team, I don't see what the problem is. Except for that, I get that other positions had needs. But, look, if Ritter ends up being the guy, then you just put star back, star tight end, and a star wideout in the last 3 seasons around what now you're calling the quarterback. From there, you just build. I don't have a problem with that.
And like I said during the draft party, to add to that,
third, fourth, or fifth year Saquon, because the injury's riddle. We don't want Bijan to be in that situation. We want him to be on the field. So is he Saquon year 2? Saquon. I'm just being asked.
Yeah.
No,
I say, look, but while you think you're being an asshole, the funny thing is that's one thing that James pointed out to me was that could happen to him because of the team that he's on now. But I'm hoping that with Algiers in the backfield with him, they don't run him to death the way the Giants did Saquon.
You got to remember where the head coach is from.
Yeah.
They need to get some kind of a featured back to go back there, but Algier can go in there and take snaps like he did last year along with Cordero Patterson. So I think it was a smart pick because, like I said during the draft party, you need to have a really good run game to go along with a young quarterback. So I love the pick.
And Arthur Smith he is from Tennessee, where he had Derrick Henry. So he wants to run the rock.
Yeah, they already – and last year they just – I mean, you could have watched it and been like, yeah, maybe it's because of the quarterback. But even in times where you're like, all right, I know he's not that great, but Mariota can make that throw. They were like, run. Like, they run the ball, man. They really do. And now they got another stud to do it with. So
absolutely. The next C- they gave the Kansas City Chiefs. Second round receiver Rashee Rice is a big body receiver as their best pick, but he's not fast. He doesn't have blazing speed, but he does help fill the void for Juju.
Look, he's not fast, but he'll be open, so he doesn't have to be crazy fast.
Right.
He's fast enough to score when he's not covered by 10 yards because of the way their offense is set up.
And they're gonna scheme him.
It's
They're
like
gonna scheme him open.
Right. It's like me last year in fantasy draft. I think my third to last pick in the league, I picked Sky Moore. For no reason. I picked him. I'm thinking like he's gonna have a good year under Patrick.
Because why not?
Not doing nothing. And then the Super Bowl, where it mattered, where teams like the Chiefs, he contributed. Yeah. So this guy Rice could be the same way. Now, of course, again, maybe a fetch, but at the end of the day, he's gonna come and help this team immediately because they're gonna make it that way, and whatever they want, basically.
I still think Tony was a Super Bowl MVP, but that's neither here nor there.
Gator.
I'm sorry.
Buzanga.
Every play he made is the reason, or not the reason, but it was a big reason why the Chiefs won. Everything he did was outstanding on the field that game.
Do you think AB should have been the MVP of the Super Bowl that the Bucs won?
Was he even playing?
Yeah.
No, yeah, he was playing.
And he was effective.
He played. He was
effective. On all sides of the ball, Tony did something. So, anyway. I don't know. I got nothing to really say on the Chiefs draft because I personally agree that they drafted poorly, but
the worst
they needed the help on the defense, and I don't really think they did anything except for that first round pick. But
that's what the worst pick they saying was,
and they didn't exactly, and they didn't. I hate it.
So who they grabbed? So they grabbed the DN guy, right?
Yeah, from K-State, Felix and Dookie Uzama.
I don't hate that pick, but they do. I think we'll see what happens.
He filled a need, but his tape just wasn't as impressive. And he did play reduced to an interior alignment. So maybe they're going to put him on the edge so you don't get beat up as much because you still got Chris in the middle.
Yep.
Man, listen.
Chris is the other part of that defense is scary.
This Kansas City with 45% of that defense is getting beat up already. Their DNA is somebody got to beat us. Yep. Somebody got to beat us. So if you get him into a Kansas City mode, he's just gonna have that motive. They just got to beat us.
It's like beat up or not, you still got to beat 15. So have fun.
So I just feel that way. Like certain people in draft, like this is the funny thing about drafts too. It's like people want to fill their needs and what they feel, and based on their schemes and their franchise beliefs and things like that. So, I mean, yeah, maybe if teams start beating Kansas City up in that aspect, then maybe, switcheroony, he's a bad pick. But, I mean, just somebody can beat these guys.
What I'll say is this, is though his tape was underwhelming, he wasn't playing next to Jones in that tape.
Which is a major factor.
He will be now.
Yeah. He's going to not a single coverage.
Yeah. Against guys that he might be bigger than right now.
Yeah.
Because he was playing against the big uglies in the middle. If they slide him outside and Jones is taking up 2-3 people, he might have a different outlook on how this kid's going to play.
Is this the guy that they said that was too tall to play the defensive tackle position?
Yeah, like they had him at DT a little bit.
Okay.
Who else did they pick up?
It's pretty much the details of it as far as
Rashee Rice, by the way, is a solid receiver who's going to be like a 4th or 5th string guy here. They already got Tony's going to probably be their number 1 receiver. They got Sky Moore probably going to be their number 2 receiver. Who was it that they picked up last year who had an impact? Not Chark, but he plays like Chark. What's his name? I forget. He'll be out there. Not Juju. But then you got Kelsey Smith. You got Pacheco. Like the team got weapons everywhere, man. I'm not really worried about them.
Champs, man.
Yeah, they're the champs. They're the reigning champs. Like
Until the problem is
knock them off.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like knock them off, and then we'll have the conversation
that's
about
the
how bad
DNA
this
they
draft
have.
is.
Like really, like that's the only team right now that I can say that to. And last year I was the ultimate hater of them too. So I didn't think they would get back to this point. And for another whack team, the Cincinnati Bengals, that made that possible, you know what I'm saying? That's what happened.
Pretty sure also, maybe we shouldn't question their draft status too much. They had a 7th rounder Pacheco starting games for them all year last year.
Yeah,
balling. So
balled out.
Yeah, they kind of
know what they're doing.
They earned some leash. They earned some leash at least.
Ooh, a hell of a drug. The Kansas City scheme is a hell of a drug. I'm sorry.
So the third team with the C- grade, the Miami Dolphins. The best pick, Devin A-Chain.
That's the one pick you can criticize, I think, the most. And they call it the best.
They call it the best.
I think this is the whole grade system for this Dolphins team, I think, or just in general, is a little off. Let's delve into anyone else. I like the A-Chain pick.
I did too. That's a lot of speed on that team.
That is, like I said, when they picked him, they just solidified themselves as probably the single fastest offense we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like right up there with that Rams.
They're gonna be able to strike from anywhere on the field.
Like everyone can do it too. It's crazy.
Right. It's crazy. This is why, Will. This is why your head goes crazy. You want to grade these players. You want to give them fair grades. This is why you go to C route, Will. See? You're learning, Will. You're learning a lot of things now.
Because I ain't with the C. I thought it was a great grade. I thought it was a great player, a great pick. I think the C grade is bad.
But the way you started to think, like, you know what I'm saying? This probably was the worst. But it's like, but at the end of the day, he has attributes that, you can't mistake. So you want to see that on the field play. So this is why I say I give him the C grade, and I won't feel as bad giving him a D or F if they do flop. I'm sorry, but it's the reality of it. But shout out to
hindsight's 2020, huh?
The worst pick was Cam Smith, the cornerback from South Carolina, but they said he should be okay because he does have Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey there.
That's a fact right there. You got two veteran guys, two guys that have been in the top 5 of their specialties. Xavier Howard, Jalen, they're going on a decline a bit, but they're veterans and they can teach him. So.
Yeah, basically he'll be a nickel, if that. So they're okay. He's going to be understudy.
And the last team that got a C- grade, the Vikings. Their best pick was first-round receiver Jordan Addison.
NIL. We opened the story about him. That's the thing. Yeah, we come all the way here. Talking about him and this guy's on the Minnesota Vikings alongside Justin Jefferson.
That's the story that gave birth to Will on the podcast.
It literally did.
We come full circle. He's officially a 1-year-old.
Just a baby. No, NIL is how I kicked down the doors to get into this whole business. And yeah, that's true. Addison, I never realized that. I never tied it to the same guy, but that was the guy that it got brought up with.
2 on his game tonight.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And I love Addison.
Memory on lock.
I love Addison too. But I liked Addison the whole time, and that had nothing to do with the NIL. But now that's great that we came back around.
Full circle.
Your man James in the chat.
James in the chat.
Hey, James.
James thought we listen.
Yes, he do. And look, he spent the whole draft being right about there was a few things before the draft that he makes so many calls, you're gonna get some wrong, like Mel Kiper does. But there was during the draft, everything he was saying, he was calling shit out. It was happening. Yeah,
it was real time. They didn't put you on the payroll, man. Now the worst pick for them, they say, was the USC corner, Mekhi Blackman. They got him in the 3rd round. Said they had a lot of better options on the board at that time, so they're not sure why they went with him.
I'm gonna go why they went with him. The NIL package was packaged up. UFC. And
more money.
Like DeMar DeRozan, like Master P's, like, okay, DeMar, we gotta get you here, but you gotta bring Romeo with you. And you see Romeo play 1 year at UFC and never played at USC again. But that was the package deal. It's like if you want DeMar, you gotta get the guy's son who's bringing him all these games. That's kind of how it is, man. I feel like that's a conspiracy reason why they picked this man.
Now, as far as the skinny on them, they said after Addison, they really didn't like the draft. But they do like the 5th round DT, Jaquelin Roy from LSU. And they do like the 7th round running back and Dwayne McBride that they took. And just for giggles, they gave the Patriots a C+.
That's because they don't think that's because they think that they know that Bill don't know what he's doing when he's drafting, but we've seen what he's done in the past. So
do you gotta take a kicker and a punter?
Yeah, we had a bad round, man.
They took the top 2. They took the top punter and I think the top kicker.
Now hold on.
Second
Patriots have had problems with their punting the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Also, Nick Folk is on his decline. He can't do it forever. So
no.
I'm okay with it.
We addressed the need. We didn't have to address it in the 3rd and 4th round or whatever it was. But anyways,
you know what? The thing is that they should have taken Jake Moody if he was available. But that's neither here nor there now.
What is the crazy thing?
No. Here's the thing. Our first pick, Gonzalez, great pick. We traded back, still managed to get the guy we wanted. I'm pretty sure. By the way, it wasn't a need, but it really bolstered. It really added depth to our corner room, our DB room. Now, something that went highly overlooked was the booty pick, the receiver.
Oh, I got my mind elsewhere.
I gave you the suspense. It was funny, but yeah, Booty. I think his name is Booty. Keyshawn Booty. He was supposed to be coming into his class of wideouts. He was one of the better wideouts in that class.
That's the kid from LSU, right?
Right. Great freshman year.
Yeah.
Great freshman year. Then he kind of tailed off because he bumped heads with the coach. And the quarterback wasn't all that great. The system wasn't all that great. But that kid is nasty. Now, he's not the fastest guy, but he can run routes. He has hands.
He can test the ball.
And after the catch, he makes plays. So I am highly excited about that. Everyone's saying that we need to address the wide receiver situation. We officially have now.
Yeah. I like that pickup.
As long as they play Kendrick.
Yeah, but Kendrick, look, even if they don't now, we have this guy. He's good. He can play. But I want him to play Kendrick too as well. That and hey, look, James called out that Mapu was probably going to be a Pro Bowl special teams guy with some solid effort on defense as well. So I actually like our draft. It's just that we were never going to get a good grade because of where we drafted a punter and a kicker and did it back to back. So,
and by the way, I apologize. I completely with that. I was calling him a safety throughout the entire drafting. He is indeed an inside linebacker.
Who?
Mapu.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Because I said he was a safety. I don't know where I saw that or where I thought that was. Maybe I saw DB somewhere, but he is indeed an inside linebacker.
Hey, yo, what is this? Patriot 4th quarter over here? Cut it out.
hey, no way.
Hey, Coach brought this up.
We talked about every single pick on the Cowboys list. Picks about last year, whatever. Like, I want to hear it.
I say last year.
Sound like Zolak and
We can talk about Zeke. Come on.
But here's the thing, though.
My God.
I think my Celtics just lost.
I don't think they lost.
Really?
They looking good.
I don't think they lost.
Oh, they looking
good. I think they lost. I think they lost. Hold on. I think they about to lose to the NB. Oh, man. Philly to the chip. Philly to the chip, dog. And they going to win game 2. They going to steal both of y'all.
We just lost to James Harden. We lost to James Harden, basically.
By himself. All right. So we're going to keep you pushing through. I just want to take it.
Dude, we have to. I don't even want to be here right now.
So
get me off.
We're going to look at the post-draft power rankings for the top 10 teams. Number 10, they have the LA Chargers. Wide receiver Quentin Johnston is another big target for Justin Herbert to join Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Very key. But they still have a disgruntled Eckler who wants a new contract. And can they keep Bosa healthy? And will Eric Kendricks do his thing?
Question is, yes, all this comes about. The question is, are they a legitimate top 10 team? We're giving them the top 10 attributes because of what is there, but it necessarily hasn't shown. So that's the thing for the Chargers this year is, like you said, stay healthy. Stay healthy.
Who did this list?
And stay healthy. Simple.
I'm trying to see how the number 9 team is number 9.
Tell me.
Number 9 is the Pittsburgh Steelers, a dramatically upgraded offensive line for Kenny Pickett and Najee Harris, including first-round attacker Broderick Jones and Isaac Samula. And Nate Herbert and Mike Tomlin will get the most out of cornerbacks Patrick Peterson and Joey Porter.
This is funny, but
how did they get number 9? I ain't buying that.
I'm gonna put a theory out here. And this is just me watching Pittsburgh football throughout my life. How long have you seen Pittsburgh really struggle? Like, they rebuild, yeah. But how long do you see them, like, really be at the bottom, then the bottom, then the bottom? And I think this is where these guys are writing them as number 9. Now, I don't think they're a number 9 team, but you have a Pickett that you're not really, like, eye for, but he's going to his second year. What a great franchise in Pittsburgh. You got guys around that help him. You have all the things that Pittsburgh's always had. But they're having fairy tales right now where they're going to be at.
The thing is, what kind of decline have the Steelers really ever been on? Because they still in the Mike Tomlin era have not had a losing season. I understand that's not what they want. They want to make playoffs and win playoff games. They still aren't on a decline. They're just on the plug the pieces where we need them so we can get back to where we were going. Pittsburgh don't do bad, but I kind of see why Coach said this because Dallas is number 11. He wants them swapped. Aside
from a fluky season, they've been mediocre for the last 5 years.
Which I can agree with, but they still haven't had a losing season.
I will put the Giants. It ain't about Dallas. I will put the Giants before I will put Pittsburgh.
Jake, that's one of those stats that you love to say like that. It doesn't really mean anything. Like,
it does.
But it doesn't, though.
It shows what kind of a coach he is.
It shows that they've been mediocre still. It doesn't really mean anything.
No, well, I agree with you because it's like what I said earlier about Green Bay. It's like, okay, everybody's like, oh, Green Bay can win 7 games. I'm like, yeah, the NFL is kind of different nowadays. Like, you can, like, the Patriots, okay, they balled their asses off last year, but, okay, they had those wins, but you're not satisfied with the team at the end of the day because you've seen what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, those type of things happen. You know what I'm saying? And in reality, yeah, Tomlin's the man, but we have to call a spade a spade. It was a down year for them.
It's been a down like 5 years. Like, sure, they've had winning seasons. Like, they're not losing. They're not losing a bunch of games, but they're also not winning a bunch of games, and they're not making any noise in the playoffs. So you're stagnant, and there's nothing good about being stagnant at all.
But not at all. And hopefully they. Well, I mean, I don't really care for them, but hopefully they don't catch the injury bug again because they have been dealing with some injuries between the last few years of Roethlisberger. He had to deal with a few injuries. T.J. Watt's been dealing with injuries. A lot of their main key players have been getting injured. Offensive line hurt. Najee Harris ended up getting hurt at one point. I understand the next man up thing needs to be in effect, but even with these injury things, they're still not getting losing seasons. But I agree with you; they have been very mediocre.
And I think the reason why they got the grading they got is because of the coach, and because they actually did have a solid defense last year for the most part.
They competed.
They competed, and I think now people are thinking, all right, maybe Kenny Pickett isn't a bum. Maybe he can play a little bit, and they put some more around him. But I agree, 9 is too high.
I still can't get over how the number 8, they have one reason, and that's it.
Number 8, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers.
I disagree. In a tough division, they were neck and neck most of the year.
They almost went to playoffs without a quarterback.
So, look, even worse, they were in a playoff situation with Zach Wilson starting games.
Yeah.
They're thinking that this is the end of Aaron Rodgers. They're just thinking it's the beginning of Aaron Rodgers. But the team definitely. But now you're going to see them have to rebuild again. And they're good players. But you had Zach Wilson over here. Now it's going to be a different type of tune with Aaron. We've seen Aaron with the receivers that he had in Green Bay. Though he polished some of them, you've seen the first 5-6 weeks how it was basically like, I got to get them right. They ain't reading the routes. They ain't doing that. It's a different beast. So let's see if those guys, those young guys can go with the beat and not be flustered early.
My thing is that this is definitely the most intriguing team in football coming in this year. Aaron Rodgers is playing the good guy right now, showing up to New York games, having fun. They got to get through this phase and start playing football, and let's see what happens because he is only there for 1 year. So,
Abdullah, if you want
good,
to chat
Abdul?
sports in your comments, yeah, but if you spamming, your ass is out here. Heard?
but no, yeah, the we'll see what the Jets can do because if he follows suit like his daddy Brett Favre, he's going to be a Viking next year.
I think
Stick it one last time to Green Bay.
I think he will never be a Viking. But the fact that this is all coming in this circle right now, it's crazy because
right. I was thinking the same thing.
It is wild. The apple don't fall too far from the tree.
Coming in at number 7, the Seahawks. Geno Smith gets dynamic wide receiver in Njigba and the slot to go with Metcalf and Lockett. The running back room is loaded. They got Walker. They got Charbonnet. Pete Carroll has added a feisty cornerback in Witherspoon, opposite of Woolen, for a modern-day Legion of Boom behind new defensive end Draymond Jones and old friend Bobby Wagner. I forgot he went back there.
About to say it's a recreation of the Legion of Boom, and then you don't got a Russell Wilson kind of quarterback back there, but you got a guy that can get the job done. And it's just like when they had Lockett when he was younger, Jermaine Kearse, and there's Doug Baldwin. Thank you. You got a bunch of guys here that can do a lot of things. I don't remember Marshawn Lynch was the running back then. They don't got him, but they got some guys that can definitely run the ball. Seattle, are they 7? Maybe. Are they going to be fun to watch this year again? Yeah.
What's less than a boom? Like slightly like maybe the Legion of Bang. They're not quite
Legion of Pew Pew.
Like they're not quite that yet.
Legion of Bang.
But
she bang.
Oh baby, when she moved.
But I will say that they definitely added some pieces to a team that already overachieved. Now, the only thing we got to worry about is, does Geno come back to earth?
Yeah.
Does the team in general come back to earth? But if not, I like what they did. They added
might
some
sneak in there and win a division.
They could. Yes, that division is not strong.
That's what I'm saying. It gets threat to the 49ers in them if the Seahawks are this deadly. But I'm going to tell you what's going to hurt them right now. Geno, talk about Geno.
You think the real Geno gonna show up?
Shout out to him last year, man. It sucks to have to say this, man. I mean, but there's enough black brothers in the league, man, to say that a black brother may not succeed, man. And I don't mean that, in the meanest way. I just think it in the stance of how I've seen Geno Smith throughout his career. Every guy has a fairy day. And I hope that every guy has his fairy day. But I just think it's over, man. Pete's going to have to start to go with the QB. Yes, they can be a playoff team. Yes, they can. He can get them there again with paying attention. One thing Geno Smith does do is he pays attention to script. And he's not looking to make mistakes. He's not looking for that big play.
True that.
But in all, this is going to be one of those teams at the quarterback away. They're going to be one of those situations where now the NFL is becoming a league of, if you're a good team and you can't get over the hump, it's more than likely your QB's fault, and you need a QB to get over that.
That's true.
I feel like that's the situation Seattle's in. But dog-wise, coach-wise, they got the DNA to be a top 10 football team. Definitely.
So what I love about what they did is that they already had a solid receiver room. They added what people think is the best receiver in this draft.
Yep.
They already had a solid running back room. Then they added what people think is the second or third best running back in the draft. So like they just doubled down on key pieces that they already had while also bolstering the line. They basically made it so like, yo, you're not going to beat us. I mean, we're not going to let Geno beat us. And Geno's not going to lose us a game. He may not win you a bunch of games, but he's not going to lose you a bunch of games. So
play within his parameters.
They're going to just run it down your throat, which I love. Because they were already doing that last year. They were running. I had Kenneth Walker on my fantasy team. I wouldn't have even been in any kind of winning situation if it wasn't for him. I think I like what this team is doing. And I feel like no one gets their defensive backs up to speed NFL-wise faster than Pete and his staff. And they got talent in the back there right now. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what this team does.
It should have been the series you made a bet on, Will.
What series?
I just sent you it in the chat.
Oh.
Number 6, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson finally got his dinero, and he's going to be slinging the ball with new offense coordinator Todd Monken. He's got an OBJ, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews. They're going to be enough.
If I'm being honest with you, I don't think OBJ does anything for him. But on the other hand, they picked up a good rookie. Bateman should be on his thing. Mark Andrews is Mark Andrews. He makes the plays. Let's just see what their defense ends up looking like, because I think that's going to be the only thing in question coming into the year. But they're always good. They always got good DBs and safeties, so they're still going to be a little impossible to throw on. But
I'll tell you this:
the Baltimore Ravens
to the Bengals.
Yes,
they
they
was a threat last year to the Bengals,
and they got better.
Lamar coming back with the money paid. He's
Yeah.
coming for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, it's going to be up to the Bengals to prove that they're the most dominant team in the North. We have 3 teams on this projected list that we're reading that come from the North.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be 3 teams in the North, but it could be the way that the division ran. So that means that the Ravens are projected right here, what they've gotten, which I feel like still not enough, but it could be respectable in that tier because Lamar brings a different type of animal to the game when he's 100%. This is why he's one of the best in the game and people disrespect him. We watch the same football game every Sunday. Okay, they lose. But this guy, what he does for the team, it's crazy. If they get a little bit of sprinkle that does him right, imagine what he could do.
So look, I know his knee's been reconstructed a few times now. That's always got to be a worry. I think he's had plenty of time to rehab now. If he has anything left in the tank, I think what you're going to see is OBJ is going to be real dangerous on the goal line because Mark Andrews is the guy they're watching.
Yeah.
And the last time we saw OBJ, he was still with a repaired knee that wasn't great, almost unstoppable in goal line situations still. I think he had like 6 touchdowns for the Rams and like 5 of them were goal line. So like he can do that. He can still go up and get the ball. He can still make plays around the goal line. And he can still get you first down. I think he's going to be, you're not asking him to be
the guy.
Chase. You're not asking him to be Justin Jefferson. You're asking him to be a solid wideout who can teach some of these young guys some tactics that you had, some skill that you had. And I think he'll help keep Bateman healthy because they won't have to overuse Bateman. Bateman got to stay healthy, though. Like, come on, bro. You got drafted high. You have all the talent in the world. You got to stay on the field, man. You got Bateman and then Zay. They got speed. They added the speed back that they lost with Hollywood Brown. That offense potentially could be really scary, but they got to all put it together, of course. The defense, they always put a good product out. It had issues at times last year, but I think they'll be okay. I think they'll.
I don't remember if it was Kawan or if it was a Ravens fan that I know from back home, but they did not like the Zay Flowers pick because he was 5'10".
He said because he's small in general. He's 5'10", 172 pounds. But like,
is he smaller than Hollywood?
I don't think. I think by the time he hits the field, he won't be.
He's got a little bit more bulk to him.
And he played stronger than Hollywood ever played.
Yeah.
Hollywood was surrounded by talent. He wasn't. He was on the Eagles. BC Eagles.
The number 5 team, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen has been gifted a dangerous new weapon in rookie tight end Dalton Kincaid and a bludgeoning guard in Osiris Torrance. But losing Tremaine Edmonds leaves a big hole in the middle, and Allen vows to stop pretending he's a running back. I think that's going to be the only thing that's going to get them again is the lack of a true running back.
I found a fraud on his list. And Pittsburgh, we just gonna call him a make believe. We're not gonna call him a fraud because I feel like
that's wishful. Yeah, that's hopeful.
Wishful thinking.
This is fraud. This is fraud right here, and I tell you why.
Okay.
They added a tight end. Yeah, he was a guy that was on top of draft boards in the tight end position.
But they didn't use the last one.
Exactly. This is why we rock with each other. Shout to Dawson Knox. He was a good player, and they stopped using him. Like 1 year, his stats were crazy. They stopped using him. Josh Allen, for them, is this team, and they paid him like it. But you have to realize that in order for you to get where you want to be, you have to start using these other guys. Now, if you use this tight end this season, congrats to you. if these running backs and the couple new ones that you got, you know what I'm saying, do their thing, you're gonna be good. But I just smell fraud on this because there's been too many years, and you're letting teams jump you, For God's sake, Miami beat you beat you last year. You beat them 2 more times when it was important, but then the Jets beat you too. And now the Jets is bringing Aaron Rodgers in. They played y'all last year in Green Bay, and they brought Jordan Love in. He looked good, but Aaron Rodgers for a bit was in that game against Buffalo. So now you're playing good teams now. And for a year and a half, you was the only good team in the East. And now even the Patriots are competing against you. So it's kind of like this is fraud.
I'm getting real tired of hearing what the Bills don't have when really it's what the Bills don't use.
Yeah.
It starts with Knox. We saw that. Then also, how many times are we going to hear they need a running back? Why? They don't hand it off to him anyway. They got Singletary, Moss back there. They had some guys, and still they just call draw plays for the quarterback. Like, I just like, what are we doing? Like, the Bills, stop dropping back 60 times. Be a real football team.
And I also think, I got tore apart for saying this the last time, but I really don't care. I also think with the departure of Dayball that Josh Allen, not regressed, but his mechanics have gotten sloppy, which has caused him to fumble the ball a couple of times, especially last year. So I think that Josh Allen needs to get mechanically sound again. He's got an extremely talented, gifted bomb of an arm. Let the guy throw. There's no reason to be running. And he's really got to get through his own head that he doesn't need to run it every time. Look who you got at receivers. Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs. There's another guy that I'm missing. I'm missing the name, but
they have so many guys.
Yeah, they've got guys on that team. Use them. Knox 2 years ago was a stud. You didn't use him at all last year. So what are you going to do by going out and getting this guy? What are you going to do by going out and signing Zeke maybe? You're not going to use the guy, so you got to get your playbook down. They got a good head coach that's a defensive-minded coach. Get a guy that can call some plays up in there.
They got to dumb it down. They could be a good team if they dumb that. There's a lot of teams that they have an advantage of in the league. You can see like their first 7 to 8 minutes of pure offense is better than a lot of teams in the league. But then they just get repetitive, and then they stuck. It's like Arizona. The first 15 plays of the game, they're like, but then Arizona falls. But this with Buffalo, it's like as the game goes.
Because how many passing plays can one team have? If you run 60 dropbacks in a game and you do that a few games over, well, we got all the film we need. Mm-hmm. We've seen every play you got.
Yeah.
Stop throwing so much. Run the damn ball.
I'm with Will on that one. At number 4, we got the San Francisco 49ers. Defensive tackle Javon Hargrave helps Nick Bosa and Fred Warner hold the fort down until Brock Purdy is ready to be the point guard. For Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. Right tackle, Mike McGlinchey will be missed. D'Amico Ryans is a loss, but new defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes is more than capable.
Here's what I'm worried about with them is, we got to throw at some point. Now, they've been able to stitch this together for some years now, but this is like the whole kicking the can down the street. Like, how long can you do that at quarterback?
But I think they were able to prolong it because they always had Jimmy on the back burner. Yes. He's gone now.
He's their fallback plan, and they don't got it no more.
They don't have it anymore.
I will not give him that much credit. I'm not doing that.
Well, I mean, as far as bridging it.
He's an asset.
If he gets the spot starts, it helps them out.
He's an asset for sure. It helps. Who is slated to start with Purdy out and them trying to trade Trey? Who's slated even to start right now?
It's got to be Trey.
No, they talk about trading him.
They're not getting no stock for him, so they're going to end up having to start him.
Well, I just mean, like, what was the plan if they did trade him? Who's the third guy?
That's a good question because I got no freaking clue.
I just want to know who the third guy in the roster, quarterback is on the roster right now.
And Mike White ain't available, and Josh McCown's coaching, so they ain't got them.
That's all I'm saying. It's getting real spooky for them.
Oh, Sam, that's where Sam Darnold's at.
Oh,
that's a good fit for him, honestly, even though I hate him.
That actually is a great fit.
They got the quarterback whisper.
You know what? They're fine. They belong here. Not that I'm going to rest it all on Darnold, but I think Darnold could hold it until Purdy's ready.
If Darnold can keep the ball away from the other side of the ball, and
He was
keep it on
kind of
their
good in
side, he's
California.
cool.
So
Yeah, Darnold's not gonna lose you a bunch of games. He'll lose you 1 or 2 though. But
He's not going to wow you on the field, but he can get the ball out to the receivers that you need to get him to.
West Coast offense, he's not going to have. It's going to be short, quick reads. Going to get the ball out of his hand like
don't
Jake
fuck it
said.
up. Just don't fuck it up.
Yeah, that's it.
Hand it to Debo and McCaffrey and whenever Kittle's
Kittle
open,
on occasion.
yeah, when Kittle's open,
Yep.
and you'll be A-okay.
I mean, that was another reason Jimmy G ended up looking so good. I think Will said it best, even though I give Jimmy G a lot of credit. How lucky can you be to be Jimmy G to get put in the offenses that you got put in to make you look that good? And don't get me wrong, I give Jimmy a lot of credit. I give him a lot of credit because I'm a Jimmy G fan.
And to be fair, he's getting it again. The lucky son of a
100%. You're not wrong.
He's going to throw to Adams, the best receiver in the league. Like this guy just
and he's getting his old best buddy from New England as his head coach.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The kid's going to be coddled.
Yeah,
but good for him.
At least in this case, he made the choice. So it was like a conscious choice. He was like, "Yeah, we'll go to my coach, best receiver over there. We're gonna go do that thing." But
Josh Jacobs is sitting right there too. All they need to do is get their defense together, and the Raiders could be, a little scary.
Yeah, they got a whole entire defense to deal with. But yeah.
Sitting at number 3, Kansas City Chiefs. Left tackle Jawan Taylor helps mitigate the loss of Orlando Brown Jr. and Andrew Wiley. Offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy will be missed, and Andy Reid will need more rookie wide receiver Rashee Rice to replace Juju Smith-Schuster. Well, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So
that offense is made for plug and play.
That's
as long as you got Patty at the helm.
It's one big ass Band-Aid.
It is.
Patty Mahomes.
Right. For sure, big ass Band-Aid. Patrick,
I'm glad.
He's gonna be number 1. Like I said, man, earlier, it's just like beat them.
He's even the color of Band-Aid.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah, me and Will were having a debate, not an argument, thank God. A debate earlier, and he's got the best point that could ever be made about the debate that we were having. If you have Patrick Mahomes in the backfield, you're going to be top 3 no matter what.
Yeah,
regardless. Yeah.
But number 2, left tackle Orlando Brown. Or my bad. Wow, that was messed up. I completely forgot to say the team. Cincinnati Bengals at number 2. Left tackle Orlando Brown Jr. will give Joe Burrow more time to throw to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Whether Joe Mixon returns or not, and if so, Samaje Perine is now in Denver. That's going to be a big factor, is that they got to figure out what their run game is going to be. But rookie defensive end Myles Murphy will be a quality bookend behind Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson. As I said earlier, I think that you could never have too many defensive linemen. I think that was an excellent pick for where they were drafting. It helps them in an area where they were kind of light last year. They went out and got some really good defensive linemen in the draft that they might have signed one. So I think that this is a good spot for the Bengals. I like it.
I still put the Chiefs over them, but I don't hate it.
2, anything?
Chiefs, Cincinnati beat them. Cincinnati, shout out to them. Played them competitive. Question is offensive line. They could have addressed that in the draft as well. And we didn't talk about that with Cincinnati earlier. And that's going to be the dictator because Patrick Mahomes.
They got Orlando Brown though.
They got Orlando Brown. They also drafted another guard.
And Orlando Brown's been protecting who for the last couple of years?
Patrick Mahomes.
Right. So that looks like it's going to be helpful.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll all see what the quarterback mechanics are and where Joe Burrow is now and what Harold Orlando Brown. Let's see if he says Joe Burrow's better than Mahomes. He never gonna see.
Burrow's elite.
Never gonna see.
All right. And sitting at number 1, we got Coach, my bad. Did you have anything on the Bengals?
No, you're good.
All right, cool. And then sitting at number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. The trenches remain elite with the return of center Jason Kelsey and defensive end Brandon Graham and drafting the rookies defensive tackle Jalen Carter and edge Nolan Smith. If DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny can stay healthy, Miles Sanders won't be missed. That's who I was talking about earlier, Rashad Penny. That Super Bowl window is wide open.
I just don't understand how the Super Bowl losing team got to draft Jalen Carter. They lost. They were in the bowl and they ended up with Jalen Carter
after losing Hargrove.
You're not supposed to be able to have access to a Jalen Carter after you were in the Super Bowl. It's ridiculous. And then they also drafted his mans next to him, Nolan Smith. It's just it's
ridiculous.
They put on a clinic during the draft. An absolute clinic. So
definitely ridiculous. But hey, fellas, I'll go ahead and let you guys finish up the show. I got to get ready for my first day back to work from
Eagles,
vacation.
fraud number one.
So
fraud,
hey,
fraud,
hold on
fraud.
to. I'll let you get on with it. But shout out to you guys. I'm glad I was able to make the show. I forgot just about how fun Mondays were with you guys 2 weeks in a row. I've absolutely missed it. Can't wait for the chop up tomorrow. Audience, thank you for tuning in and putting up with my bull job as always. But you guys take it easy. I'll see you tomorrow.
Salute.
Good work, bro.
Have a good night, brother, man.
Hey, we're not gonna let you go in this fraud tirade, you homer ass.
Get him too.
They were a great team. They were a great team.
No, I'm not a homer because I mean, obviously the team, wasn't in there. But like I said, every year, this is kind of where they rank us, and then we have to prove the naysayers wrong. So we'll continue to do that. But in all, Kansas City should be number one. They're the champions. I don't care how much the Eagles are improved. Fuck that improvement, And the Buffalo Bills, fraud. And wishful Pittsburgh, where Pittsburgh shouldn't be on the list. But
agreed.
I want to see Buffalo, and I want to see Philadelphia. You usually say you want to see, the Cincinnati Bengals. You want to see the Bengals too. I want to see all the teams that were second and below last year.
By the way, the Steelers were ahead of the Cowboys, and they ahead of the Dolphins too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Mike Tomlin might got something that we don't know about. We'll find out.
I ain't buying that. My top 10 would will be KC first, Philly second, Cincinnati third.
Yep.
Buffalo fourth. I'm not sold on the Seahawks. Chargers, nah. I will put Dallas in the top 10. I will put the Giants in the top 10.
Yep.
And Detroit just outside of the top 10.
Yep. I got Detroit ahead of Pittsburgh.
And I think Jacksonville should be higher too. They're ranked number 15.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. They had a great run and they got better. They added Calvin Ridley to an offense that was already doing well. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, just from a quarterback standpoint, how do you put Pittsburgh ahead of Jacksonville?
Yeah. A quarterback that didn't start the whole season.
Right. And
he struggled.
And in his draft wasn't considered a can't miss or a great guy.
Right.
In Jacksonville, you said the slump of Pittsburgh for the last few years. Jacksonville's the team that started that. When they beat them in the divisional round, and Le'Veon Bell and AB. Jacksonville killed the Pittsburgh franchise for.
Was that Blake Bortles led team?
Blake Bortles, yes.
Right. He led the team in rushing.
Vegas wouldn't let him do it to Tom Brady though.
No,
made it magical at some point to the game.
He didn't make a plays. He made it close, and then that was that. Call that a day.
Fair enough.
Go time.
Man, who got shout outs tonight?
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody pulling through tonight. Riding with us, man. It's the play call sheet, and regardless, we still got to get all 60 minutes in. Got to play hard, guys. To that last whistle, that last downfall. You heard me?
Let's go, baby.
Go.
Hey, one last time. Shout out to everybody who joined us for our draft extraordinaire. It was fun, man. Shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Shout out to the brand. Shout out to Bruins fans. Y'all don't deserve that. Shout out to Celtics fans. Y'all kind of do deserve it, but whatever. We'll take the loss tonight.
We'll bounce back. They deserved it.
They didn't deserve that. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to you fellas, and shout out to the chop up tomorrow. Let's go.
Shout out to everybody that hung out with us tonight, man. We appreciate y'all. Ditto to what Will said. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday morning, pretty much.
Yeah.
We had a lot of we had a big blast. Hey, the next thing that we got coming up, might as well start talking about it now. You got the NBA draft coming.
And we're doing that. We're doing that up.
And that's not bad because you get it all one night.
Also, yeah, way better.
Yeah.
Also, MVP of the chat tonight. Close race, but I'm gonna have to lean towards the Bottom Line Sports was doing his thing. held it down a lot early. And who is Abdullah Jamil?
We're gonna find out who Abdullah Jamil is. Hopefully in the upcoming shows. Thank you for
keep showing up.
Man. Any new faces showing support, man. Real talk, man.
Appreciate the new faces, absolutely.
So make sure y'all hang out with your boys tomorrow night, man, for the chop up. You know how we do a damn thing on Tuesday nights. And before we go, man, Will, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, dog. We did the work. Oh.
Let's go, Stars.
Let's go. Hey, look, they ain't beat me, so I ain't mad at them. If you was a Florida fan, I'd have been pissed today, but I take the Stars. Have at it, y'all.
Hey, it's gonna do it, man. Let's go, Stars. It's been a while.
Hey, guess what? I didn't have an emblem tonight, but go. Hey, I said this last year. Somebody was joking with me. I said, yo, I feel it. Within the next 5 years, the Devils are gonna, they're gonna start doing some things. And the Devils tonight are 9 minutes and 30 seconds away from winning their first series in a very long time. And I'm here still to dream that. So we can dream of the Devils trying to get back to success. The Cowboys will get back there soon.
Signing off. Goodbye, folks.
Y'all be easy, man. Y'all have a great night, man. Appreciate you, man.
We appreciate all y'all's support, man. The unwavering support.
How about the Devils?
We'll see y'all tomorrow night, 7:30 for the chop up. Y'all have a good one. Peace.